Welcome. I'm Grandmother Jonette with the May Consciousness Update. So I'm going to talk about the month of May, but I'm really talking about also this whole era that's beginning to be born in these times now. I'm calling this time the birth of superconsciousness. There's an acceleration of energies. The end of April, there were huge Class X solar flares. Some of the biggest solar flares that had ever been recorded were happening in the end of April. And so the energies of change are powering down on us. And it's harder to stay unconscious. And the cost of staying unconscious is getting even stronger. Yet, if we lift up on this energetic uplift, we can see so much more. It's as if we're on a wave that takes us to a higher mountain than we've ever been before. But what's showing up is the clear choice between, I'll say, victimhood, blame, the old way of being, and empowerment, kindness, connection. So we're called this month to really stand in our sovereignty, because with all the energies, everything is illuminated, everything is energized, the good, the bad, the ugly, everything is clearer, which makes it easier to make the changes that we've been talking about, wanting to change, because they're in our face now more than ever before. Traditionally, May starts May 1st with the fires of Beltane, the bonfires of burning off the old. So I ask you to take a few minutes and just consider, what are you ready to burn off that perhaps you were never ready to get rid of before? It's kind of like moving to a new house. Finally, you're going to get rid of those things you knew you should have, but you never did. So this is a time with all this intensity that there's no more places to hide. The vibe is no more excuses. Get clean, get strong. Who do you want to be walking into this new era? So with that, self-responsibility should be your mantra this month, to be very clear where you're in blame, where you're in victimhood, where you're stuck, where you're in excuses, and come back to the power of taking choices, being responsible. Self-responsibility is really a sacred act of power. So in considering talking about self-responsibility, I was given the metaphor of balancing anchors and parachutes. So they're both here available this month. So anchors, to ask, what are you still anchored to? What are you holding on to? What are you stuck with? What are you, why are you stuck? And it's belief systems, it's ways of being, it's old habits, old patterns. Now, an anchor's not a bad thing. You know, sometimes it's fine to be anchored, but if we want to make movement, which we need to do now, it's time to pull up the anchor. So my other little metaphor was parachutes. And pulling up the anchor takes courage, because you don't know where you'll drift. A parachute will take you softly to where your intended landing place is, but it isn't activated until you pull the chute. So a parachute gives you a new place to go, but its activation is an act of faith. You jump out of that plane and pull the chute. So this is really a time to choose when you need to be anchored, and choose really when you need to fly, and know that you'll be safe. You are under canopy. It's a time, I say, of radical self-responsibility, to look deep inside with the light of all this energy and see, where have you been dragging your feet? Where have you been putting blame and responsibility everywhere else, take it back. That is your power. And really ask in this time, is there anything else I need to let go of? So the other theme for May, but really we're opening up into a whole new era, is what I call superconsciousness. My guide Mark calls it the 13th dimension, that we're entering into this new dimension. Now, the 13th dimension isn't like the other 12, 12 months of the year, 12 hours of the day, 12 signs of the zodiac. When the 13th comes in, it reorganizes consciousness, it reorganizes everything else. Think of the 12 disciples aren't anything till there's Jesus. The 12 knights of the round table aren't anything till there's Arthur. So we're going to that 13th. This is a time of incredible possibilities, incredible change, radical responsibility, radical forgiveness, radical love. The guru, Sri Aurobindo, also talked about superconsciousness. He used another word. He called it the supramental, the descent of the supramental, which means this energy is descending that's beyond the mental. That's where we're moving with superconsciousness. The mental is based on duality, it's based on rationality, it's based on analytics, and it's based on separation. This new consciousness is based on oneness, wonder, gnosis, or knowing. So you don't think and process through your mind. There's just an innate knowing that's coming back to us. So this month, there's a lot of positive turbulence, let's say, where we're really moving into super consciousness. I'm reminded of the poem, the small poem by Rumi. He goes, "You are not a drop in the ocean. You're an entire ocean in a drop." So our whole perception is beginning to tilt from an individual trying to comprehend oneness and all that is, to being all that is oneness, infiltrating and animating our individual consciousness. It's a huge shift. Humanity has never been through this shift before. We've been through cycles and cycles and cycles and cycles, but we're turning a new page, a new world. And some say that started in April, but I see that May is a tremendous opening for this super consciousness. So we're really collectively at a crossroads, and it has to be collective. It's no longer just about us. And the choices are collapse or co-create. And I know what I'm choosing. So if we choose resistance, blame, avoidance, it's going to give us pain right away. And if we choose presence, respect, wonder, we get power. So a lot is happening in May. It is not a month to sit and wait. I know this whole year we've probably been saying, let's sit and wait. Let's see what happens. Do not sit on the sidelines in May. Radical clarification, radical clearing, radical self-determination. And to support you in this, I've got a few things going. Of course, we're continuing our weekly Mark class, where we're working in the 12th dimension of transcendence, getting ready to open up into the 13th dimension. I will be teaching this month, the May 17th, a Zoom course called Soul Body Fusion Immersion, where even if you've learned Soul Body Fusion, even if you're a practitioner or a teacher, it's kind of like we really need to immerse ourselves in the energy of our soul so that we can begin to lift into this super consciousness. So it's going to be channeled. We'll do soul body fusions. It's really going to be, I'll say, a spa day for your soul. I invite you to come on the 17th. We will record it. And if you are interested after that and would like to become a soul body fusion practitioner, we will have a half-day course on May 31st that will give you the certification to actually be a soul body fusion practitioner. However, in your countries, there's many soul body fusion teachers, so you could take a soul body fusion practitioner class from some of the teachers in your own country. The other thing that's happening is our Mark Intensive Superconsciousness. It's a 2-day weekend workshop. It might be the last live Mark workshop I do. And it's going to be in the Netherlands on the 28th and 29th of June. So come experience Mark 2 days as we open up the 13th dimension. So have a holy, bright May, and may you blossom in this time. Thank you for being on this earth and for the great work you do. Blessings.